try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Cause you're my black brother, strong brother, and there is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. You're my...
What it do, family? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, first and foremost, rest in peace to our immortal sister, Angie Stone. And literally, I found out in the middle of the day that she was in a car accident, and my heart literally dropped. It took me a while to even address the situation because I was one who grew up on the Angie Stone, and I kind of had a crush on Angie Stone. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. Angie Stone was one of the ones for me, her, Jill Scott, Naomi Campbell. There's a few of them out there, Keisha Knight Pullum. There's a lot of them, but still, Angie was one of the ones. You dig me? God, I can't even leave out our sister Erykah Badu too. You know what I'm saying? But Angie Stone was the one, she was someone who exhibited just Black beauty in its whole to me. You know what I mean? And the music industry will never be the same because we're losing a lot of our legends. We're losing a lot of our greats. So I wanted to take the time to show love to our sister Angie Stone. Before we get there, though, let me give a shout out to everybody who's in the chat at this moment. A big B1 salute and shout out to Reparations Nations. FBA Strong, much love to you. A huge salute to our brother, our good brother, Black Truth United. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the mod. Thank you for everything that you do within the B1 community. Reparations Nations, already said it. Shout out to our sister Angelic. Thank you for being here as well. Our good sister Hurricane Nisi is in the building. Shout out to her. Shout out. And then let's see what else we got here. Okay, that's it. All right. So shout out to you guys and shout out to everybody who's going to be in the replay gang. Especially shout out to our sister Black Spider. I know you'll be in the replay gang at some point as well. But I want to go into this situation because Angie Stone is somebody, like I said, I had a huge crush on, but she took everything that she did with music and she wanted to elevate us. And one of the things that I really hated about her situation was the fact, like 3 or 4 months ago or whatnot. Well, it was 3 months ago. She came out and she started speaking about her royalties and how she wasn't able to get what she was supposed to get, and really how she was graped, all right, as an artist. And we have so many of our artists, so many of our people coming out saying these same things. Michael Jackson then said it. Prince then said it. We didn't had so many. I mean, we didn't even got to speak about Sam Cooke. Because Sam Cooke, he was somebody who just owned everything, and all of a sudden he just ended up gone. So I want to highlight some things that she said, and I want to show her some love. So let me go ahead and share my screen here, family. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Like I said, I'm still learning, family. Still learning. But let's get into it.
After 40 something years in the business, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, after 40 something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs, all the songs that I've done. I'm only coming to find out that after 40 something years in the business, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, after 40 something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where am I?
Family, it's truly sad. It's truly sad that no matter how long they've been in the business, how long they're there, some people will say, just get in there. Once you get in there, you'll be able to change the dynamic and all this other stuff. But it gets so frustrating seeing things like this, where you have people who's been in the industry since they were like 5, since they was like 9. She's been in the industry 40 freaking years. There should be no reason why she wasn't able to get her royalties whatsoever and get a fair amount on her royalties. No one else gets done the way our people get done when it comes to the music industry. And it's so freaking disrespectful. It shows the lack of understanding of our position within society with them doing such. With everything that our people have done for this country, with everything that our musicians have done in this country, a lot of them still, they pass away and they're still asking questions about what's owed to them. I hate that, family. I hate that for our people. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There is literally nothing that I disdain more than the rest of the system of white supremacy, because this is just a partial of the system of white supremacy. But this is in the list. It's high up there when I talk about what I hate about the system of white supremacy. And I'll be having a broadcast on that next week sometime, where I'll be going down the list of the things that I feel is the most detrimental to some of the least detrimental that's still detrimental regardless. Least, more, neither that applies, because it's still detrimental at the end of the day. Salute to our brother Kid Gravity, just popped in. Much love to you. But for me, I feel like this is one of the most disrespectful things that our people have to go through when they put so much into their craft and the love of their craft and elevating their craft. It's literally just, it's something that just infuriates me. But I want to go here, family. ThyBlackman.com put out 10 essential Angie Stone songs defining her legacy. That define her legacy, excuse me. And that's a beautiful picture of our sister, ain't it? Oh, hold on 1 second, family. My fault. Like I said, still learning this system here, but here we go. Anyway, that's a beautiful picture of our sister, right? That's just gorgeous. And so the number one song And I would have to agree, No More Rain. This song was one of my favorite songs. I used to have one of those, well, back before there was like MP3s, right? And I know I'm aging myself, but salute to everybody who's an 80s baby. I used to walk around and go to the bus stop, and I had this CD player, right? And the CD player was one of those. It was when new CD players were basically like new, and they didn't have too much like upgrade to it. Really, CD players never had upgrades to it, but there was a time where you couldn't turn CD players on its side. And that's when I had a CD player where I had to walk to the bus stop and I had to hold the CD player upright in order to listen to music, right? And I would be singing my way to the bus stop. And one of the songs that I used to listen to all the time on my burned CDs, I used to burn by myself in my bedroom and stuff, was Angie Stone's No More Rain. That was one of my favorite songs, as well as another song that she did, which was Brother. And that's why one of the things I wanted to do today was start this off with, Brother, and a tribute to her. Because I'm be honest with you, that song right there made me love Black women even more than I already did. Especially knowing that they was here for us and they was representing us. See, way before people started pandering to Black men and Black women, you dig what I'm saying? We had people loving on us, and they were out there vocally saying this. And that was something that I appreciated overall as a Black man in this country. Maybe it was just me, but it was just something that I loved the most about an artist. So when India Arie came out and she did, Brown Skin, Brown Skin was one of my jams. That video album, the video song, I'm Not Your Average Girl from Your Video. I love that joint because I'm a person who loved the fact that we was out there celebrating who we were and what our history is through music, because music is therapy, it's humbling. And it was one of the biggest steps for me growing up. It was one of the biggest steps into my knowledge, my awakening, me wanting to know more about our culture and things like that. It largely it came from music. Earth, Wind, and Fire and everything. Oh, you can't even imagine. When I started my awakening, Earth, Wind, and Fire, I listened to that the most. Lauryn Hill and Angie Stone. These are the things that I listened to on my path to learning who I was. But I digress. Let's keep going, family. All right. So next, Brother, number 2, 2001. I was just talking about this one. And then on the number 3, we got Wish I Didn't Miss You. And this was my jam too, because that doom 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 doom. I forget who did she sample? What they do? They smiling your face all the time, trying to take your place. The backstabbers, backstabbers. That was my jam too. I loved that song 100-fold. Number 4, Baby, featuring Betty Wright. And Betty Wright was another one. Betty Wright was one of those ones. If you knew, you knew. If you know, you know. Real love to shout out to Betty Wright all damn day. But Baby featuring Betty Wright. Number 5, I Want to Thank You, featuring Snoop Dogg. Number 6, More Than a Woman, featuring Calvin Richardson. Number 7, Brother, number 2, featuring Alicia Keys and Eve. That's the remix, I believe. Yeah, I believe that's the remix. I didn't know it to be called part 2, but yeah. Number 8, Happy Being Me, featuring Pauletta Washington. Number 9, Do What You Gotta Do. Love that song. Love that song. And number 10, Love is a Battlefield, and I love that song as well. Now, I want to give a B1 salute and a rest in power to our sister, our queen, the immortal Angie Stone. Now, let's get into the news drop, the breakdown that we're all here for. So, family, I know you all heard all the nonsense and all the ins and out about the situation with hold on one second, let me take that down there. The whole situation about the new Captain America movie and all the so-called nonsense that's going on thereof. And I say thereof because it's been a lot of shenanigans and nonsense being spoken about this movie. And really it's just coming from the usual suspects. It's usually coming from those same napkin people that just don't like to see Black people in high positions. Black people have, their solo movies and things like that. It's coming from the same old crowd. And I would call them MAGA, but it's not just MAGA. It's people who are just in the napkin community regardless. It's coming from both sides of the fence, whether it's MAGA, the MAGites, or whether it's, the liberals, the liberites, as I'm coining today. Y'all just heard that right here on this. So I wanted to go in and really look into it and see what happened, because I went and saw it myself. I went and saw it when it dropped, and I loved it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was, if I had to rate it, I would probably rate it somewhere around, I don't know, probably about 7.6, 7 or 8, but it'll be a high 7, right? The more I watch it, the next time I go see it, I'll give you a definitive, rating on that. But if I had to rate it, I would literally rate it somewhere in there, anywhere from 7.5 to 7.8. And that's because I felt it was better than a lot of the shenanigans and movies that Marvel has put out over the past few years. Whether it's the TV shows or whether it's the movies, Marvel has been dropping the ball. And when you look at this in comparison to all of that, I find it to be a pretty good movie. I look forward to the next one, to be honest with you. Now, there's some things I would critique, but we could talk about that on another broadcast. All I'm saying is, for the people who went and called themselves critics, who started really bashing this movie as if it was nothing to see, it's ridiculous. And for our sister Angelic, the name of the movie again is Captain America: Brave New World. I'm gonna be 100 with you. A lot of these folks, they're showing their issue. They're showing the problem at hand. But guess what? I want to share this screen there. There we go. Guess what? Captain America made what? Well, let's start here. The budget was what? $180 million, right? And they want you to think that, it's meant to fail and all this other stuff. But guess what? Just like we've shown several times, we've shown this several times over, what's meant to fail sometimes just doesn't do what these folks wanted to do, because it didn't hit nearly 300 million in the box office, while everyone is going around in their hatred of black people just disrespecting the movement. I had a conversation with somebody, and not the movement, I meant the movie, but I had a conversation with someone about this movie, and they said to me, it was a napkin person, and they said to me, you know what, I just don't like the movie, it's just not realistic. Family, whenever someone tells you that they don't like a movie because it's not realistic, just know that that's their white supremacist way of trying to down the movie, regardless of whether it's realistic or not. Because as I told this person, I said, well, name me a Marvel movie that is realistic. You can't do that. And I explained to him, what you're doing is basically trying to downplay a movie because you don't like someone in the movie, but you're trying to make it seem like it's because it just wasn't up to par with the rest of Marvel movies. And that's nonsense. All you're doing is showing your racism. Now pull your skirt down. And after I said that to him, he was like, well, no, it ain't got nothing to do with that. I like a bunch of movies with black leads. I love Denzel Washington. That's their go-to. Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson, you dig me? These are their go-tos. Like, I'm never surprised whenever I hear that whatsoever. But when he said that, I said it just like this. I said, okay, if that's the case, then why are you worried about the realism in this movie? When Marvel literally is about superheroes and villains. It's about unrealistic nonsense. Can you explain to me what your issue is? And the person turned to me and literally said to me just like this, but I don't feel I have to explain that to you. But you saying that this movie is trash because it's unrealistic, and you can't even explain what's so unrealistic and what's so different from the other Marvel movies that's come about to even explain anything to me. So why are we having this conversation? Why are we having this conversation? Shout out to Angelic. You're absolutely correct. No one goes to see a Marvel movie for realism. No one. To be honest with you, barely no one goes to the movies for realism at all. Unless you're in the black community, because, foundational black Americans, we're known to go and support realism when it comes to our community. If it's a movie that's actually, showing the realism. And then the opposite is quite true as well. We're the ones that go to the movies and choose not to go see something that claims to be realism. Looking at you, Harriet. And let that shit flounder. It just flop. But that's that. Let's continue, family. I digress a little bit because it's crazy to me when these people have these type of conversations with me. Are they try to just I'm white and I say so type shit? You're not going to be able to do that with me. Don't tell me that something isn't realistic and you didn't like it because it was unrealistic, but you love the first Iron Man movie, which is completely unrealistic. But you love Doctor Strange, which is completely unrealistic. You love the Avengers, which is completely unrealistic. These people are literally just showing their hatred and their anti-black racism, and they're trying not to say that they don't like the movie because Anthony Mackie is the lead. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of my favorite parts in the movie is with Isaiah. Isaiah came in and showed up and showed out in this movie. Anthony Mackie, he did a great job. It wasn't phenomenal. There's some critiques, like I said, some things I would improve on, but is it bad? Hell no. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want to compare Captain America Brave New World versus Moon Knight, it'd be Captain America Brave New World. If you want to compare Captain America Brave New World versus WandaVision, it would be Captain America Brave New World. Name me anything in this section or whatever they call it. I forget what it's called, but you know, they have these little realms or whatnot. In this season 4 or whatever they'll call it, I forget. Don't hold a gun to my head because of that. But name me something that they dropped, whether on Disney Plus or in the movies, that was just as good. You can name anything, and I would most likely, with the exception of Loki season 2 was very good. But you ain't going to be able to name anything else within the phase. That's what it's called, the phase. And that's just my opinion. I mean, from phase 4, phase 5, I think we're in phase 6 right now. Like, there's so many phases that people are losing count, but what we're not losing is the conception of what's good and what isn't. So let me close this out here because I want to show you something else. Come on with it. There we go. You got a lot of mixed reviews. I saw Captain America Brave New World in the theaters, and it made a bold change I didn't like or love, excuse me. But this whole thing here, let's go here. This isn't talking about anything about the movie in itself. It's talking about little things that really, it's little nitpicking things. Things people nitpick. Jeez. Look, family, read this for yourself. Read this for yourself because, like I said, this is all nitpicking. It's all nitpicking. But it's not talking about the movie compared to the other Marvel movies that was released. Now, family, I want to get to the people because, you know, that's what's important to me. What do people have to say and what do people think about this? And like I said, it's a very mixed reaction. You know, shout out to our brother Nas. He said, I will watch Captain America Brave New World this weekend. Can't wait. We'll bring the family, bring some family as well. Anthony Mackie is an amazing American actor, and he's from Louisiana. I'm be honest with you. Shout out to Anthony Mackie because, yeah, he is. He's getting better and better and better as an actor. You know, and Stomp the Yard, I think that was one of my favorite Anthony Mackie movies, as well as 8 Mile. You know, those were my favorite Anthony Mackie movies. Just to be honest with you, it's because, you know, he was able to show a lot of range in those movies. Now I could add this to one of my favorite movies as well. Not that, you know, it's going to be in my top 5, but it showed that he can actually be the man that he's supposed to be. We already knew that, but on a big screen, that's what is actually showing to everyone else. And that's why a lot of folks hate it. That's why a lot of folks hate it. But most of the people that hated it are people that don't look like us. Here's this guy. He says, what? My voice seems rough. You know what? No, this guy, he's going to get his own screen because that dude right there, it's so weird. But this sister here, she says she didn't like it. Hold on.
I also think they should not have shown us the Red Hulk in the trailer. That should have been a surprise, personally, because I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting. I was like, okay, is he gonna like, were we gonna see him starting to transform and everything and do all that? That's going to help build the Avengers. So are Thunderbolts going to be the Avengers? The Fantastic Four? What else is coming out this year, movie-wise, besides that? Like, the rest are shows. So are you going to put Daredevil as an Avenger? Are you going to put Spider-Man? Because we had the My Friendly. What else did I like about it? Maybe I should have wrote down what else I liked about it. I mean, and I just want Marvel to be good again. Like I said, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, it needs to be like the Infinity War saga. No, because first of all, ain't nothing going to be as great as Infinity War, because that was top tier, because the villain won. Simple as that.
The villain won. And she loved the fact that the villain won. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I liked the movie. I felt like the movie was a little convoluted. Infinity Wars, Endgames more specifically. Infinity Wars was better than Endgames, but I felt like it was a little convoluted, just to be honest with you. That's just me. But this person here said, I really enjoyed Captain America Brave New World. Was it perfect? No. But does it need to be? It's a fun time and a solid MCU entry. Anthony Mackie truly cements himself as Captain America. Carl Lumbly pulled on my heartstrings. And the action scenes rocked. So this person is saying the same thing that I'm saying. It's not a perfect movie. There are some critiques, but if you want to talk about MCU movies, y'all tried to gaslight a lot of other MCU movies, and this is the thing I hate about critics. This is one of the things that I hate about content creators in the Marvel field on YouTube, period, and off of YouTube. You know, it's the fact that they gas up whatever movie Marvel tells them to gas up. While we were sitting there telling them this movie looks horrible, this looks horrible, this looks horrible. It was all no. Give it a chance. Let it work. Let it work. You know what? You're absolutely correct, Miss Nisi. Shouts out to you for that correction. You're right. It was Columbus Short and Stomp the Yard, not Anthony Mackie. I could have swore it was Anthony Mackie, though. Hold on. Well, I know Columbus Short was in it as well. I thought Stomp the Yard. I might be wrong like a mug, though. Hold on. No, you're right. It wasn't. It's the other guy. They kind of look the same. They kind of look the same, but you're absolutely right, Miss Nisi. Thank you for that correction. And Miss Angelic, you was correct as well. He was not in Stomp the Yard. Thank you for that live fact check. And see, that's why I love being New Black Media and being a part of the New Black Media, because as you are a part of the New Black Media, you can fact check right here live on camera and screen, and we'll have to correct that. So I truly appreciate you guys for that. 100. But let's get back over here. I
also think they should not have shown us the.
Okay, girl, we already heard you. Now, I want to go over here because while I want to show this guy here, and it kills me that this guy is special needs and he's hating his ass off on this movie. And that's why I wanted to give him his spotlight. No. We're not going to scroll down the comment sections with you. I want to make sure people know that even people who are disabled and all this other stuff, they hold and harbor the same type of hatred. And they hold and harbor the same type of nonsense that the average person does. So let's get into it, family. Now, family, this person can barely speak. This person can barely speak. And he's literally bashing this movie, calling it below average of a modern day Marvel movie. Well, I'm going to play it, but just peep this. Family, I'm not going to make you watch all of that. I'm not going to do that to you. But it's funny that, you know, he starts off and he says it's a below average movie. And then he says, well, I don't think the hate that's online is deserved. But then he goes right back into bashing the same damn movie. Like, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And, you know, I'm not bashing him or anything like that. This has nothing to do with his disability. I just find it funny that a person who has struggled speaking had no problem trying to poke out his chest and still talk bad about this whole situation. Like, it just makes no sense to me, family. Am I wrong for that? Am I wrong for calling that out? If I'm wrong, please let me know, family. I promise you, I'll apologize. But I don't feel wrong for that at all. I don't feel wrong for that. And shout out to our brother Black Truth United. He said disability dumping. Yeah, man, I don't understand it, man. Like, is it because do they think that they can talk stuff about us because of the fact that they're disabled? This isn't the first time that I've seen disabled people talking stuff about Black people or talking stuff about like something that pertains to Black people and calling it woke or something like that. And I get so freaking frustrated. Like, dude, you're sitting in your own shit. excuse my French, but you're sitting in your own shit trying to disrespect us? Why? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Oh, shout out to you, Angelic, because you're right there too. Disability or not, he figures he can still at least beat up on black people. You're absolutely right. And to be honest with you, that's what most of them do. That's what a lot of them do. They think that, well, whether I'm disabled or not, it doesn't matter. I'm still white, so I can still participate in the system of white supremacy. That's exactly what it is. But, participating in the system of white supremacy doesn't always work for people. It doesn't always work because, the budget in this movie, like, most people has mentioned already, it was $180 million. And to be honest with you, a lot of people was upset to find out that the movie broke records. The movie broke records. Hold up. Oh, snaps, my fault. Wrong one. Give me a second. The movie broke records. 300 million in the box office. And they hated that. And you're not hearing anybody talk nonsense. It's the same thing that they did with The Little Mermaid. When they found out that our sister, I think it was Chloe Bailey, is it Halle Bailey? Haley Bailey. if I'm slaughtering her name, please forgive me. If it's Haley, I think it's Haley Bailey. But with Haley Bailey, they were sitting there talking all this stuff about The Little Mermaid. You feel what I'm saying? And these folks, they were mad as hell to find out that The Little Mermaid broke records. They came out and said the same thing about Black Panther. Black Panther broke records. So it's Halle Bailey. Shout out to you, Angelic. Thank you. Like Halle Berry, so Halle Bailey. Okay. I be confusing her name sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I be confusing her name. But much love to her and her sister. Both of them very beautiful women. But yeah, they're out here mad as hell about that. They're mad about every Disney movie that they call woke. Hell, remember the Barbie movie? The Barbie movie, they said it was going to flop, and that went over $1 billion. Same thing with Black Panther. And I have no doubt in my mind that when this Blade movie does get released, if it ever gets released, that's going to surpass it. That's just my personal opinion. But let's move on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, family. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the Trump situation. The Trump and Zelensky. And I kind of want to know your opinions on that. I want to know, like, what you guys think about the Trump and Zelensky situation. I want to know what you thought about their interaction. I kind of want to know, how do you guys feel about, the Trump interaction? Because there's some people taking it as a good thing. There's some people taking it as a bad thing. And me, I'm really on the fence. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm really on the fence about it. On one hand, you could say it is exhibiting strength because Zelensky did talk a little nonsense while he was there, but it also shows a little weakness in my eyes. It kind of shows that you're a little too emotional. And you guys here know how I feel about emotions in politics. So to me, it kind of feels like, You didn't have to get that emotional with them, either one of you. But at the same time, I'm also like, he did need to get, served the way he got served. But let's go into this real quick. I'm going to play this clip real quick while I get some water. This clip once speaks about how once we had a vice president, excuse me, once we had a vice president who would sit there and allow the president to be attacked. Not anymore. Thank God for JD Vance. So let's play this.
In their lives.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. You keep talking about
it. The last time, Chuck, you shut it
No,
down.
no, no.
And then you opened
20
it up very
times.
quickly. And
20
I don't
times.
want to do what you did.
20 times you
Chuck.
have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wool. None of us have
You want to
said,
know something?
you've said
Okay, you want to put that on
you've
my.
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay, fair
Absolutely.
enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for
Have you
trying to
ever
bring
been-
an end to this
have you
conflict.
ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of
will
the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your
A
country?
lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Family, if y'all didn't notice, that's when JD Vance and President Trump, literally, they both went on a million. They went from 0 to 1,000,000. When Zelensky was saying, oh, you got nice waters around you. You don't feel the war now, but you'll feel it later. That's when they went from 0 to 1,000,000. Because to be honest with you, that is something that he should not have said. Especially when you've been given billions upon billions by the American taxpayers. Especially when you've been given billions upon billions by a country that has nothing to do with your country. So I understand why he flew off the handle, but I think that he could have did that a little bit less emotional, if that makes any more sense than what I said. Excuse me, if that makes any more sense than what people are saying out there. I think that him getting too emotional was the problem. I think that if he would have kept his composure and still, like the way he was telling them, you don't hold any cards, I could understand that, and I agree with what he was saying. But I think that they allowed Zelensky to make them more emotional than they should have been. In a lot of these countries, they respect strength. And as a person, who studies political science and who's going into the law field, I've actually taken an international relations class. And in that international relations class, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I think I did. I was actually able to participate in a simulation where I was the president of my own country. And when I said I took over on a grand scale, not just physically. I only took over one country, but with the other countries, everybody was either scared of me or they were scared of me and they wanted to be my ally. Why? Because we were the first to develop nuclear weapons. We was the first to put everybody on notice to say, hey, if you're not with us, you're against us, so everybody pick a side. So as a person who's been through those simulations, just imagine how Trump has to be, or any president has to be, right? Well, I wasn't a dictator, bro. Shout out to our brother. I wasn't a dictator. What I was somebody who was all about my country, because in the simulation, when you start the simulation, each country is created with its own resources. My country didn't have any natural resources. So essentially, my country had to start off as a communist dictatorship. But I wasn't a dictatorship. I had a lot of public services and goods, right? But I had to take over other people's countries or make deals with people, right, in order to make sure that my country was A1. And guess what? I won that simulation, and maybe another time I'll download the report for you guys and I'll show you guys later to let you guys know. Like, they tell me you could take that anywhere if you want to work for government and show them that, and they'll hire you as, someone who worked in international relations or has experience in international relations. But I wasn't trying to be a dictator. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to make sure my country succeeded. And that's what the job of every president is. Every president's job is to make sure the country is going to succeed. Shout out to Miss Nisi. She said, in my opinion, 47 being a narcissistic, not surprised by his bruised ego going off in front of the world. After all, 47 loves and 47 loves an audience. I'm just saying, you're absolutely correct. 47, he loves his ego and he is very protective of his ego. And that's why I was saying, one of the things I do believe full-heartedly, speaking to Trump's ego, is that if somebody was to approach him with the right type of Freedman compensation plan, we call it Freedman compensation, we call it reparations, we call it whatever, that Trump would go for it, especially if you lean on that man's ego, right? If someone was to walk up, let's say myself, Black Alpha, Afro Elite, anybody you want to name, just name them, right? Lisa Cabrera, whoever. If any of us was to walk up, right, and have the ability to have a conversation with Trump, and we was able to let him know, like, man, can you imagine how you would be upheld in the Black community if you was to pass this kind of bill that deals with specific issues addressing the freedmen community, the foundationally Black community? The Democrats would be done. I guarantee you, the same way that Ice Cube went to Trump and he took his plan for Black America, his contract for Black America to Trump. Trump didn't use all the stuff out of there, but he used some of that stuff to make something that actually targeted Black Americans, which was the Platinum Plan. So I feel, and this is just me, you all can disagree, but I do feel like if someone was to bring that to him, I BS you not, Trump would think about that, and whether or not he would implement all of what we want reparations to be or not is debatable. But I do truly believe he would not let his ego go down on the ship. His ego would be too strong He'd be like, yeah, I could be the president known for, eliminating the Democrats. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. My Trump voice is awful, but y'all get the point. So shout out to Miss Nisi for that statement. You're absolutely correct on that. Let's I want to go here because I wanted to show you guys once we got there. Here we go. Here is another side of the fence. This person says, forget about diplomacy. President Zelensky was ambushed by President Donald Trump. He was ambushed by Donald Trump and Vance. Do you guys believe that he was ambushed? I just want to know, do you guys believe that Zelensky never stood a fair chance? I'm just wondering, because they're out here making memes like this saying Zelensky, he got, Vance and Trump took turns with Zelensky. This is hilarious to me. It is. It's hilarious to me. And the reason why it's hilarious to me, because I don't care either way. I don't care whether Trump and Vance tag teamed him and did the high five bridge and anything else. Because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't concern me, to tell the truth. Even if Trump did do this, even if Van did do this, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I remember when the Ukraine war popped off and how Black people in Ukraine was being treated. I truly remember that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know that's not our business. We're letting everybody hold their own nuts. But I'm not going to sit here and not bring up the fact that they were out here being 100% anti-Black. So I don't give a damn how they get treated. All I care about is our money stop going to these bastards. Oh, yeah. And President Biden brought in all these Ukrainians and gave them refugee status, and they was living rent-free on HBCU campuses, in case you don't remember. Hey, Miss Nisi, this is all of our response. We do not care. We just don't. Need I remind you? But, that's hilarious to me because, like I said, these folks, they're out here saying he got done the big Black way. He got hit with the BBC while we're sitting back with the popcorn. We're not watching it because, I'm not for that shit. Maybe some of the people in the community, the rainbow community, they're watching it hardcore, but we're not really paying attention to it. We don't really care. We don't. To be 100 with you, to be simple, to be very frank. But you know who are? Some more napkins. She ain't even put the A, she put the SM. I don't even know how to say. Embarrassed. I think she was meaning to say, I'm so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed as the way Trump and Vance talked and yelled at Zelensky. Who are we to dictate? Oh my God. I don't believe this is even happening. Who are we to dictate? We're the people that's been giving them money. We're the people that's been giving them hundreds of billions of dollars. What do you mean, who are we to dictate? Look, here's the thing. I want to kind of lay this out on the table because a lot of people seem not to understand this. So let me just go ahead and help people in the back of the school bus get to the front. If I apply for a scholarship, there are certain things that you have to do in order to receive that scholarship. One of the things is write a thank you letter to whoever the funder may be that may be giving you the funding in the scholarship. That's one of the things. Another thing that you got to do, you have to send a what is it called? A wallet size photo of yourself, a professional wallet size photo of yourself. You have to also get I forget what it's called, an endorsement letter from, if not one, but two people. One of those people most likely have to be an academic person in academia. So you have these conditions on receiving a scholarship. Now, for anyone who thinks the way that this man walked in to meet with a president as a president of another country is professional, they need to get their head checked. What Zelensky actually did was kind of walk in there and try to show his power. That's exactly what he did. He was basically saying, I don't have to respect you. I don't have to dress up for you. Yeah, shout out to Black Troops United once again in a tracksuit. You walk in to see the president of the United States of America in the tracksuit, a country that's been giving you hundreds upon hundreds of billions of dollars to help you with a war we had nothing to do with. So no, I'm not for that. Like I said, I'm really on the fence about this whole situation. I'm on the fence. I don't have either side like winning in this. I'm not betting on either side. I'm just saying I'm betting on America because I'm an American, of course. But I mean, in this interaction, I'm not saying, oh, well, Trump looked stronger or Zelensky looked stronger. Neither one of them looked strong. Zelensky looked weak as hell. But Trump and Vance allowed that weak ass person to make them look even weaker by getting into their emotions. That's just my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I'll take that. But I'm going to be 100% honest with you, like I always am. I don't feel I am. And I feel that there's a lot of people who's out there who feels exactly like I feel. Both parties looked weak in this whole damn thing. Now, the one thing I did love about Trump went off and he let everybody know that I'm not for Putin or Zelensky. I'm not for either one. I'm for Americans. And I truly believe that he feels that way. I feel like he does feel like he's working in the interests of Americans. But if that was the whole truth, nothing but the truth, yeah, there would be a lot more happening rather than trying to shut down the war in Ukraine, like shutting down the funding. Shutting down the funding to almost everyone outside of the United States, including the Top Hat community there, family. It's the same thing with me with his deportation situation. I love the deportation situation. I want to see more of the deportation situation. But if I had any critiques about the deportation situation, it would be the same critique that our good brother Greg Marcel Dixon has brought up so many times. I would love to see them going after these corporations that are hiring these people who are coming to this country in the first place. That's what I would love to see. But as of right now, it's all cool. It's looking good. It's getting there, but it's not going to get to my liking until I start seeing that. So we got to be able to not just critique what's going on, but also be able to voice and articulate why. Okay, that's cool, but it ain't great. Okay, I see what you're doing over there, but nigga, we still watching you because hey. And that's the whole concept, especially of what our brother Black Alpha, what he speaks about using these pawns against each other. This is a chessboard. And the things that people are hating nowadays is that Black Americans are now starting to play chess and not checkers with people who are playing chess against us. We're truly out here saying, you know what? No, I see everything going on there, but really, it don't really affect us unless you say our name. Yeah, I hear, everybody, they want to, bring us up. They say our name, but really they're only saying our name because they need our help. We're shutting a lot of this down. And we're changing the dynamic. We're changing the way people see us because everybody saw us as just this people that you can come over here and put a leech on our back and then just ride the ride. You can just ride the wave. And the fact of the matter is, we're like, hell no. We didn't let y'all leeches ride our backs for way too damn long. And when we say leeches, we're not just talking about tethers. Tethers is a whole nother thing. When we're talking about leeches, we're talking about the all of America. We're talking about everyone who came in through Ellis Island. We're talking about everyone who came to America in order to leech off the backs of the labor, the stolen labor of foundational Black Americans. We're talking about everybody. We're not just talking about tethers. And in that, we're speaking about all these countries that's been getting all this funding out of the tax dollars of our pockets when we still ain't seeing reparations. While people who is not even a part of our citizenship, a part of our constitutional rights, they're not even under the Constitution. They come here and then want to tell us, after getting freebie after freebie after freebie after freebie, that we do not deserve reparations. They don't agree with cash reparations or whatever the situation. Then they say we're lazy. They say we're this. They say we're that. No. We're cutting you off at the teat. We're nipping it in the bud. And shout out to the ears that hears the truth for your Cash App. Much love to you. Your contribution is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate you for helping us get to where we need to be as Black media. But family, we're done. We're done with this. So that's why I sit on the fence with this. I look at this as, okay, this isn't my chess game, but I like to see it. because my chess game is actually, it has something to do with Trump. It has something to do with the Democrats and the Republicans. So of course I'm gonna watch how a chess player play chess. Of course I'm gonna watch their strategy. Of course I'm gonna watch people be who they're going to be while the cameras is on. Because then I have an understanding of who this person is, an understanding, an overstanding of who this person is and how he's going to play the game. And I'm not going to get all super excited about watching this person either. I'm not going to get all super emotional about watching this person. Whether this person win or lose, it does not really concern me. But as the president of these United States, if he would have lost this debate, battle, or whatever the hell you want to call this, you could bet your bottom dollar that every country in their mama would have been wanting to test the United States of America. Now tell me if I'm wrong. If Zelensky came out on top, if he came out stronger or looking stronger than Trump, tell me that every other country wouldn't be trying to now test the waters with America. So I'm not against it at all. But I can call a spade a spade. And after watching it over and over and over, I watched it maybe 3 or 4 times. The full 10-minute clip is actually 11 minutes. I kept writing down questions in my head. And the same questions kept representing themselves. The same question kept representing itself. Does this make us look stronger, or does it make us look weaker? All throughout the 11-minute clip, the full segment is 11 minutes. All throughout that segment, I kept asking myself over and over again, does this make us look stronger or weaker? And there were some parts that made us look strong. But there were some parts that made us look hella weak too. But to be honest with you, family, I wouldn't expect less. I wouldn't any less. Not from Donald Trump. Like I said, his ego's too big. His ego's way too big. But family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting the like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And I'm going to hit into this chat real quick before we get up out of here. Shout out to Maneuver. Shout out to you. Trump will never let that happen. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Trump was saying it all this time. He was sitting there saying, hey, you're teeter-tottering on the brink of World War III. Trump was not like, he wasn't playing with him. He kept saying that over and over and over again. And I do understand that when he was saying it too, because yeah, that's the actual truth. The fact of the matter is, Zelensky sitting there acting as if he had, you know, Superman standing behind him. He did pump out his chest. Like I said, I could see both sides objectively. Both sides. Shout out to our brother Dark Truth, the Dark Titan, excuse me. I do want people to understand the entire meeting made America very weak. I'm be honest with you, it made America look weak, especially because of the fact that, excuse me, my bad. We're not looking like the power person in this situation. And to be honest with you, a lot of the interview, a lot of that segment, there was some power moves. And then I just got disappointed as soon as they was able to draw, as soon as JD Vance started going off like that. I was like, okay, Vance, pull it back. Pull it back. All right. I feel like you made us look strong because the president of Ukraine was arguing with our vice president. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. Like I said, also, the vice president could also, said everything that he said without being so emotionally driven, though. That's why I say I feel like it kind of made him look weak. And then once Trump saw that Vance was getting so frustrated, because if you notice, Trump let Vance go off for a while before he even said, you know what, you said enough. Trump was more like, the father figure watching two kids argue, and then he came in and said, no, you said enough. But because of the fact that he allowed himself to get emotionally triggered by Zelensky, I feel that made him look weak too. Yeah, in that aspect, that did make us look weak. Absolutely, family. I'm not for either side in this. I don't have a shoe in the fight. Well, I do, because I'm an American. So of course I'm going to want America to be America, right? But if you step back and look at it objectively, right? And then say, there is some parts here that could benefit America, but there's a lot of parts that could be taken as sound bites or snippets and things like that and used against America as well. And that's my point on this. Shout out to Angelic. She said Trump didn't jump until Zelensky made the little threat. That's right. You're absolutely correct. It was Zelensky that started talking about how, you guys are good over here because you're separated by this little water. You're going to feel the hurt later. You're absolutely right. Like, and that's when I think that Trump got upset. He got tired, because prior to that, he was saying things like, you guys, you don't hold any cards. You don't hold any cards. But if you sign this bill, you'll be in a better position than you would. He was very calm when he was saying that. He was very calm when he was saying, I don't stand with either side. I work with, I'm trying to work with both parties because, and you can't, it's going to be very hard because, this guy has a deep-seated hatred and it's understandable. He said, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get these guys to come to an agreement because, they hate each other. They hate each other. But when, Zelensky really started pumping out his chest, all that went to the wayside. He kept reminding them, you don't hold any cards, but that's when he started going the F off. What are you talking about? You ain't have no help. We gave you billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Trump was going to hell off. I ain't gonna lie. But all that could have been said without all the emotion. If I was president, I probably could have said the same thing like this. Okay, if you didn't have any help all these years, maybe we should stop giving you financial aid and see if that was, if that wasn't helpful. I guarantee you, with just that alone, he would have turned the hell around and said, no, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. No. I'm just saying, no. You just stated that America, the country that I run, we didn't help you. You was, by yourself. So maybe we should take back all of our military aid. Maybe we should make sure you don't get another dollar of financial aid and see what you do with that. Notice no emotion in that whatsoever. And it drives home the point that, dude, you're on my goddamn dime. I don't have to listen to shit you have to say. shout out to our sister Angelic. My Trump accent ain't that bad. No, it's worse than a lot of other people, but I appreciate you loving it. I appreciate you loving it. But like I said, that could have been done. And it could have made us look stronger if we didn't get so emotional. If JD Vance said what he said without being as emotional as he was, then I'd have been like, you know what? He made some valid points, and he actually made the president look pretty damn good. But everything from the tip top to the rickshaw of how JD Vance spoke to this person, you could tell he was just triggered. And then you could tell when Trump got triggered. But anyway, family, I want to make sure I promote this before we get up out of here. While we rounding things off, make sure you come back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. We got our brother, Black Truth United, coming in for our new segment, Sunday Service and First Sunday. So please make sure you're in the building to support and represent. But with that being said, family, in the comment section, please let me know, what was your critique about this whole interaction between Trump and Zelensky? And then also let me know what you would have did or said if you were president and Zelensky came in there talking the way he was talking. Dressed the way he was dressed. Antagonistic the way he was antagonistic. With that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Thank you for being here, everyone in the chat, each and every one of you. Thank you to all my members. And for my members, you got 2 new videos up right now and won't be dropping to the public till next week. So go and take advantage of that. Much love to everybody here. Shout out once again to all the mods. Appreciation to everyone that took the time to give me your time. And with that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. So fuck everybody. I'm off.